Reddit is one of the best discussion websites in the whole world. It has over 230 million users worldwide. Content entries are organized by areas of interest called subreddits. Now, in some of those subreddits, users share some of their most creepy experiences that will definitely compel you to think. Welcome to Wonder Why, and today we take a look at top 5 creepy and mysterious Reddit stories. The Creon Killer. This is a pretty scary Reddit story shared by a user. The story is about her parents. In the year 1972, her parents bought their first house. It was a nice house, but some of the repair work still had to be done. They decided to move in right away and fix things that were possible. While living there, they came to know about the history of the house from the neighbors. The previous owners of the house had a nasty divorce and they had moved out. Moreover, they lost their second child from sudden infant death syndrome, and this incident ruined their relationship even more. Obviously, her parents were scared after listening to this because her mother was newly pregnant, but the scary part comes later. Anyway, life moves on, and her parents pretty much forget about this incident. Now, in order to prepare for the baby, they decided to wallpaper the nursery and the closet. So, one day, her mother, while trying to scrape off the old paint from the inside of the closet, saw something terrible that made her blood froze. Written in crayon at about eye level for a kindergartner in childish scrawl was, I killed the baby. The Unexpected Photographer. This creepy story was shared by the Reddit user Spectre Alabama. She describes her vacation to Ithaca with her boyfriend. They had just reached the town and had stopped at the suspension bridge near Cornell's campus. It was gorgeous around, and so they decided to take a picture over the bridge. On the side they had come from, there was a parking lot with steps leading to the bottom of the gorge. But on the far side, there was a hiking path with no barriers. A woman walked past them and offered to take a picture of them. The couple denied to take any picture, but then the creepy incident happened. The woman smiled at them and walked quickly to the side of the bridge, where she smoothly jumped off the gorge. There was no hesitation on her part. It seemed as if she expected the path to keep going, but the couple was mortified with fear, and the sound of a person hitting the ground keeps coming back to you. The not so lonely babysitter. Now, we all are familiar with the urban legend of the babysitter who is taking care of a child while the parents are away for the night. There are 2-3 variations of this story, but most of them say that while the child is asleep, an unknown man visits the house and comes very close to the babysitter while she is sleeping. All this is revealed in the next morning when the police visits the house. Here, in a similar creepier fashion, Reddit user BondMaxBondRock shares the story of a babysitter. Everything was normal. She had put the kids to bed by 9. After that, she was watching TV and was doing her homework while waiting for the parents to come. In the meantime, however, she started hearing some noises coming from the basement. At first, she ignored it, but then the noise came again. So she decided to call the police and inform them. The lady at the police station told her that there was a patroller in that area and he will be there in the next 20 minutes. But just 5 minutes later, there was a knock at the door. She opened the door and there was a full SWAT team. One of the officers told her that the lady in the station waited and heard a second phone on the line hang up. She immediately sent the full SWAT team for help. Indeed, there was a man hiding in the basement who was waiting and listening to the whole conversation, probably waiting for a moment to attack. Anyway, the police successfully caught him. The narrow escape. We have all heard about the hitchhiker's urban legend. There are many variations to this story, but most of them point to a general trend wherein the car driver sees a hitchhiker on a lonely road who is asking for a lift. The driver decides to give her a lift. She sits in the backside of the car and somehow tries to kill the driver and then vanishes in midair. Now, an even creepier variant of this urban legend happened. It was initially shared on fark.com but was also shared on Reddit by the user Noobs280. The driver was driving from California to New Mexico. He took a shortcut from Amboy to take the route to Interstate 40. He came to the mountain range between Amboy and Interstate 40. He reached the top and was about to cross that barren strip of land when he saw something. He came upon a car accident with two cars on the side of a road, a suitcase open with clothes scattered everywhere, and two bodies lying face down on the road. He was puzzled. Should he go out and check on them, or should he not leave his car? Anyway, he had a bad feeling about all this and decided that he should not stop. So he slowly drove past that scene. He stopped about 100 feet past it to just have a look, but his blood froze at the sight. The two people on the road were standing up and were staring right at him, and about 20 other people came out from the bush. Now, mind you, Amber was a nearly abandoned town, and at that period of time, it was a hotspot for satanic group activity. That was a trap laid for passengers. Had the driver stopped that day, he would probably not have survived. The Smiling Man. This is one of the creepiest stories on Reddit and was first shared on the subreddit Let's Not Meet by the user Blue Tidal. In this subreddit story, he shares his experiences that happened 5 years ago while he used to live in a major US city. He starts by describing how he is a night person and in order to spend his time, he went for long walks at night alone since his roommate was not much of a night guy. Anyway, this went on for 4 years. No harsh memories or incidents whatsoever. But one night everything changed for him. It was Wednesday, at around 2 at night. He was strolling near a park that was police patrolled. But at that time the park was completely empty. He turned down a short side street in order to loop back to his apartment when he first noticed him. At the far end of the street, on his side, was the silhouette of a man dancing in a very strange manner. It looked like waltz, but was peculiar. He was rather dance walking towards the narrator. Thinking that the man is probably drunk, our narrator stepped away from the sidewalk to give him room to walk past him. But the closer the man got, the weirdness increased. The man was walking gracefully, but the setting of the night made it look horribly scary. The man was tall and lanky and wore an old suit. The man was coming closer and closer. Finally, he could have a look at the dreadful eyes at the man's face. The eyes were open, wide and wild. The head was tilted back slightly, looking off at the sky, and his mouth was formed in a painfully wide, cartoon-like smile. Now, a bit scared, our narrator decided to cross the road before the man came any closer. Our narrator turned back to see that the man had stopped dancing and was now standing with one foot on the street, still smiling wide and open. The narrator took a few steps forward and looked back to find that the man was not there. Now, he was standing on the same sidewalk as our narrator. The man had moved too quickly to be seen. Our narrator was so shocked that he stood there for some time staring at that man. And then the man started moving towards our narrator. He took giant steps, much like a cartoon character, which looked creepy as hell. Our narrator was so scared that he could not even run. He stood there completely frozen as the smiling man crept forward to him. The man finally stopped at about a car length away from him, still smiling in that creepy fashion, still looking up at the sky. Our narrator was so scared that he could not even properly speak. He could only murmur. But the man didn't react to any of this. He just stood there, still smiling and still looking up at the sky. And then, what felt like an eternity, the man turned around and started dance walking away. But after going a while, it stopped again. It wasn't moving anymore, and to the horror of the narrator, the distant shape of the man grew larger and larger, and this time the man was running towards him. And now our narrator finally ran. He ran into a better lit road, and fearfully he turned around to check. But now the man was nowhere to be found. Our narrator quickly reached his apartment, but that wicked smile haunted him forever. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then do give it a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon to become a part of the notification squad. Click here to check out some of my previous videos. Until next time. Till then, think, learn and wonder why.